It has been a week since Don't Starve Together's freshest faces have gone and gotten all skilled up, which means we've had plenty of time to see what all the fresh fuss is about. So first things first, everyone, as it's the only thing that matters really. How do you feel about the Wurt and Winona skill tree updates? As something tells me a lot of you are going to look to the past to our previous skill tree rants, while also taking into account the title and thumbnail of this video, and just ask yourself a pretty reasonable question. Am I really about to sit here and watch some bearded internet idiot rant about a video game again for like 8 minutes? Yeah, but actually no. What happened to the dynamics of skill trees that we were just starting to explore with Wigfrid here? I want these back. I want to not just have all 15 insight points immediately to turn my character into an OP killing machine straight from the beginning that circumvents the entire game. Number two, how on earth have I not seen more people commenting on the fact that Winona doesn't have to do anything related to the Ancient Field Weaver or the Celestial Champion? That's like freaking huge, people. And number three, and it's honestly the ultimate general gist of this entire update, holy dump skills Batman. We just run into the problem of just like so many things doing the exact same thing. So while I really enjoy the amphibian tree, like no joke, I really do like it, all these regenerations are just not enough for how many points we have to sink into this tree, especially when the more fun bits are coming later. And unfortunately, that's actually later because we also have to talk about the mosquito skills, which I guess are kind of okay. Like, they do what they're supposed to do, but they're a complete and total noob trap because they're never gonna mean anything beyond the initial kind of like, ooh, hype and fun and interesting coolness. These easily could have been contained in the one perk even, maybe two. King's Quest, love it. I don't like how Wurt became like a follower combat kind of character because of these, but going back to the Wigfrid thing, these are integrated gameplay changes before you get the actual benefits, and that's cool. The Sated Sovereign, aka the King Hunger stuff, worthless. Completely and utterly worthless. You don't need these whatsoever, especially when they literally just upgraded them, and like, let's be real. Once again, 3 perks for this, and no relation to the Gnaw whatsoever. Gross. If you can believe it, everyone, sensible swamp fighter is very sensible, but this one, still dumb. I don't care what anybody says, you don't need this. A lot of the times, Wurts are even moving the swamp to where people are basing. You don't need this. There's no reason for this. And Wurt has to be nearby anyway. Yes, a 30% increase in speed is pretty significant, but it's way too situational for an insight point, especially in a tree that has still all of these skills that do essentially the exact same thing, which is a little bit of an upgrade. Honestly, the community feeders would be completely and utter garbage if Clay didn't come back with another hotfix and like add a skill to the skill, because you don't need to speed up increase of respawn timers. They show up in 2 freaking seconds. But the new thing of gathering all nearby merms and having one eat a kelp and all of them are suddenly loyal to you, yeah, that's what makes this worth it. But even then, you only need 1. Merm tools and merm helmets, very efficient, but are you gonna spend 4 perks on them? Unfortunately, you kind of have to, especially when it comes to the tools, because the first tools are really bad. So if you don't get the second one, this entire tree is bad. And with these, you could probably get past with the first one because it's a 30% increase in damage reduction versus a 50%. Like, I don't think you need to do both. But lastly, her affinities. And I'm not gonna lie to you, these are absolutely bonkers insane and maybe a little too much. The affinities are astronomically beyond anything we've seen before. When I was recording this beta for the first time and I saw these, I literally laughed to myself. For one, I just felt like this is so forced. It makes no sense whatsoever. And 2, one is objectively better than the other, so there is literally no point in going for the lunar side. Planar merms with some eyeballs that glow versus shadow merms that literally fight for you after they have literally died. So you have 2 merms for every 1 merm. And then if you're fighting on the new Shadow Mudslinger turf, every single enemy you fight is going to contend with you, your entire army of never-ending merms, because again, they revive themselves, and shadow tentacles, non-stop. You can literally deal thousands of damage per second. There is no reason to choose the lunar side. But here's the thing. Does that feel like Wurt to you? Because one of the things I wrote down is that there's too much focus on follower combat. That's not Wurt. It's not. I don't care if when she first came out, people were making merm armies and going after things. Cool. That is just kind of like one little gimmick. But Clay leaned into it officially, and it doesn't feel right. Adding the fact that there's no merm variants, there's no connection to the null whatsoever. Better wetness maintenance is not a thing, because for right now, people are kind of just jumping off boats purposefully. And while that's funny, that's not like reasonable for the general population of those who play this game. And then yes, the main thing, there's just too many upgrades of the same thing. So here's the deal before we wrap things up with Winona. The fun factor is absolutely there. The fact of the matter of the character itself, though, is questionable, and that's not good when you bring both of those together and are supposed to weave it into the fundamentals of this game, which is exactly why skill trees don't belong in this game. But that's a topic for another day, as we got Winona here, everyone. The spotlight skills, okay, I guess. In my honest to God opinion, even though they work and are quite efficient, I wanted them to just completely get rid of the spotlight. I said that in this video here when I was talking about my own reasons to rework Winona. And yeah, they didn't do that. Portability, quick charge, and energy saver, everyone. Energy saver is all right. It's honestly not that needed, though. Gotta be honest. As somebody who has played Winona, who has delved into Winona farms with catapults, like, this is nice. It's a quality of life thing, but it's absolutely not needed. Quick charge, being able to charge gadgets faster, but also just integrating charging into her base kit is a good thing. And portability, the thing that kicks everything off, is really cool. Just being able to pick up everything, move it to where you want, set up just wherever you want instead of just being limited into one space. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Precise targeting and barrage, everybody, good. I mean, they're not like crazy. Barrage is actually probably better than precise targeting, so I would actually swing this route more. Greater generator skills, everyone. Another one of those things where it's just like, yeah, it's kind of nice, but it's not needed. So this might actually be a hot take. These should just not be a thing. Explosive volley. This is okay. This is okay for mob farming if you want to be a little more efficient on things. I don't really like that that's where the game is going, of just go, bloating, just no time for anything. No gamers have any patience anymore. But like, okay, if you're farming spiders, you're maybe killing 4 more than you used to. Good job. Hot take. I don't think Winona should have wax staff affinities, but we'll talk about that. But Shadow Seeker here, using the rose-colored glasses and the infinite revives when you scan a flower, seeing things about Charlie, the vine bridges, like, it's weird. It's very weird to suddenly have your engineer character have all these extra gimmicks. And with the Nightmare and Pure Horror and Shadow Strike stuff, insane. Nightmare Fuel is very efficient. Pure Horror is stupidly efficient, and the Shadow Strike is pretty weak, not gonna lie. But if you're going after hordes and stuff, that 34 damage like every 2 seconds with the vines that last for ages, if you can time that right, that's extremely powerful. But is it as powerful as the boss man side of things? Nope, not even close. Yes, Pure Brilliance does the same damage as Pure Horror, but once you get the Planar Strike in, or the Enlightened Strike, excuse me, you're dealing hundreds of more damage, and maybe the vines are a little more interesting than doing work with Winona's catapults nowadays, because that's what the Planar Strike does. However, this is essentially a replacement for the Thumper, and that's a good thing. And Enlightened Generator here is literally unlimited energy. Literally unlimited energy. Nothing can beat that. So let's talk Founders Keepers 1 and 2 to end things off. Yeah, teleportation. This at least is nice. You know why? Gadgets. Gadgets that include a new but still very familiar calibrated perceiver that can also be used to get Windbot and all sorts of other prototypes without actually prototyping. It's a very sneaky change. It's very good. But there's a problem with Winona. It's all just percentage increases. Like, the entire tree is that until you get to the affinities. Affinities that are actually kind of questionable. even Charlie's side. And I am gonna double down on this. I don't think Winona should have a Wagstaff sign. She was literally going undercover in Wagstaff's Vox Solar factories to find out his connection to not only his sister's disappearance, but the disappearance of every other damn survivor out there. So, why is this person working with that person? The lore implications not being integrated into gameplay is honestly becoming worse and worse and blatantly ignored in every update that has come for the past year and a half, and I hate it. But that's probably in a video for another day. So let's just stick to Winona stuff, shall we? You're telling me you didn't know trusty tape expansions whatsoever? No weapons or armor, even though we have weapon and armor repair kits now? For someone who has a wrench and is always working in every animation or promotional art we have ever seen of her, you're telling me you didn't give her a freaking wrench to like actually integrate the gameplay of upgrading things instead of just clicking one button and suddenly you are better or have a percentage increase? Yeah, that's not fun. No working efficiency or building efficiency for somebody who is an engineer and is working all the time? Like, think about it. What if Winona was able to build like 2 boards instead of 1 per craft? Work efficiency, build efficiency. She should be able to do more with less. Besides all that, it all comes down to this, everyone. Way too many dump skills. We had a step forward, but 2 steps back because we didn't integrate any of what was making skill trees starting to look better, in that we had to do things to earn these skills. And number 3, the affinities are getting absolutely insane. We need to slow our roll. Otherwise, all the previous skill trees are gonna look terrible, which they kind of already are, which guess what? Means you got to go back and fix those too. It will be a never-ending cycle, which is exactly what I warned you about the moment Wilson released. Folks, that's it for me. I am not uttering another word about any of this unless Clay comes out with another hot fix, which they said they were actually going to do. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done. We've been talking about these skill trees, and we will continue to be talking about these skill trees for years to come, unfortunately. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.